G'day, hi, and welcome. All right, day two. Okay, so I just got down here. It's 9:15. I brought my drum thrown down. Let's see how the guitar, my sorry, on a bit of an. I forgot to bring my guitar pick, so I'll use my nephew's Lego piece of my nephew's Lego. This should work. So we're gonna see how well this hydrometer worked overnight. Yeah, some flying V. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I can't use that for sure. This is MacGyver. I learned a lot from MacGyver when I was a kid. This is how you make a guitar pick and a pinch. So, not bad. Shredding with a piece of paper. That is pretty cool. Okay, so I don't hear any extra buzzing on the guitar. So, okay, so this is day 3. Okay, what I mean by hydrometer is like if the humidity was really out. Okay, when you play a live show, for example, okay, you start the show, the guitar's in tune, and everything like that, and then suddenly you get like 80, 90, 100 bodies of people, in the place. Suddenly the guitar starts going out too because the humidity level changes, right? So going from the house up there to down here with all the humidity problems that were in this house, what I did, okay, I left that window open just maybe about an inch or so because I didn't want to. I didn't want the influence of the night air on that guitar. And I left that. So I'll try not to use the words airflow too much today, but you're probably going to hear a lot today. So because I don't come down empty-handed, I brought down a toolbox which was left out on the deck and my drum throne. So now I have 2 thrones in here. I got the bathroom throne and the drum throne. Can there be 2 rulers in the same room? I don't know. But it's still musty in here. A lot of the mustiness is this couch. It's the dog couch, so it's like it's full of dog hair and two dogs worth of hair. And but let's go and explore the basement. I'll get that window open right away. So I left this window open a crack just that much, just so I wouldn't get too many critters here. Because when I left yesterday, there was a squirrel. I don't know if he's going to be there today. He's usually there. My brother says he's pretty tame. He was climbing along there. He's got freaking granola bars stuck in the window ledges all over the place because my brother feeds him granola bars. And, or was feeding him granola bars. He came up to here and he looked at me. He started running at me. He looked right at me. He's like, well, what do you got, buddy? I said, I didn't have it. I don't have anything for you. So he runs up to here. He looks at me again. He goes, what do you got for me? I said, I got nothing for you, buddy. He's like, I'll be back. And he runs down the planter. So if he does that, that's fine. I don't want him to run in here though. But let's go down in the basement. Well, I can see that moving already. That's good. But we want to move some more air. So the mustiness, oh yeah, very musty down here. I could have actually slept in this, not down here. The floor is actually drying a bit just from what I did yesterday and leaving that door open. So trapping all that humidity down here is just never a good idea. Like if you have a musty basement, like, you can spend thousands of dollars trying to serve it, or you can just open your basement door, open all the windows, on the upper floors, then open your basement door, for a few hours a week at least. Now, hang on, I gotta take this. I'm not saying I broke the first thing in the building, but I kind of broke this yesterday. But I think oh yeah, I have that on there. It hooks in a certain way, and I unhooked it. I'm just going to take that right off. We see all this grass here. All that's stopping the flow, right? So the airflow. So I'm going to be doing a bit of work in here And then I'm going outside and I'm going to be firing up some whippersnippers today and some brush cutters. I'm going to be firing up the brush cutter. Yeah, so the floor dried a little bit till the next time it rains, but okay, 3 days ago when I came down here, it was really the door and the house and all the windows were at least closed for at least 2 or 3 days. So I came down here on the Friday and it was really like man alive. There's a man alive down here. You know what I mean? Like it was really, really brutal. Oh my God! No way! No way! This house is total nostalgia for you. Remember, this is my grandparents' place that I grew up in. This. Oh, I wonder if it still works. I'm bringing it upstairs. It looks pretty corroded, but oh my God. I remember my aunt, God rest her, got this for my grandmother for one of her birthdays. There's all these little things. So I was asking my brother last night. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, even down here, like, I mean, you couldn't sleep down here. I wouldn't have slept down there last night. It'd be like 6 months, 8 months before you'd even attempt that. But just airing it out all day yesterday, pretty much. And I cleaned up the cupboards and all that a bit. I can't believe this. I hope it works. I love stuff like this. Like, okay, as a 52-year-old man who's into metal and all that, okay, here's some of the stuff that I'm stealing for the house. My brother said my mom might have gave these when the power went out. He might have got these from up home anyway. But that was probably my grandma's, that candle holder there. But I'm loving stuff like this. So not too musty in here. Like, I mean, I could have slept here. It probably would have been a bit musty to sleep here last night. But I think the big winner in this for the flow is all the crap going out the attic. Now that means all night, if there was any sort of breeze during the night, that would be sucking air out of the basement into this floor and onto this floor. You know, there's 2 windows that were slightly open. Now, I know January I'm not going to have the windows open. I'm going to have everything locked up tighter in the drum. Hence the airing out. You know, like every night this thing is going to be aired out. But I don't want it like to leave the windows wide open like that overnight, because you actually kind of get laws of diminishing returns, because you wake up in the morning and there's dew on your walls, right? But it's not that bad. There's really only 2 real problem spots. Well, I'm sure there's more than that, but that you can notice is there, which that's going to get vinegared. The ceiling's fine. There's no mold in the ceiling. It's just those 2 spots there. And there's a little bit there. And then the rest is just the musty basement, which I know some go, oh, you can't get rid of mold. You can neutralize it to a degree. If it's really bad, yeah, you have to tear the place down. But this place, like, it's not that bad. With the sunlight now coming in here, like I say, my brother was, I don't know if he's part of vampire or whatever. My brother, my nephew, and my sister-in-law, for some reason, they leave lights on in the house all night, all day, whatever. But they have the blinds down all the time. Like, I'm the total opposite. My dad and I are the total opposite. We like sunshine, right? The only time we block out the windows is if it's like scorching heat, sun blazing in middle of July. But, whatever. That front door, remember the door that used to be on there? It was a lot nicer. I'd like to get a door with a window. So I was looking at pianos last night, and I'm thinking somewhere around here, one piano. But I have to save this spot here for the grandpa chair, which that'll be my grandpa chair right now. But right now it's the flying V chair. But no, it's not bad in here. It's not bad in here at all. The big issue is my brother never opened windows. My sister-in-law never opens windows, right? I love them to death, but they're just, they don't, like, they'd run the air, because the air conditioner used to be in this window all the time. My grandmother never had that window closed, during the summer. Like that was her main surveillance window, right? Not now, because all, the spy bushes grew up too much. But the big one is it doesn't take much to air out a house like this. Yes, this house is rough. There's not a straight wall in this house. This house is, parts of it are over 100 years old, I'm sure, as I talk. But the big kicker here is that, guys, I will talk, the numbers of what this has cost me. And yes, you'll hate me. This is a deal of the century, so to speak, with the caveat that it's a rundown house that's just old. So there's stuff you're going to have to live with. So it's never going to be the Taj Mahal. No, I'm not going to invest that much in it. But this could be my forever home if I play my cards right. And just put a little bit of, maybe they'll let me buy it at some point. But it'd have to be really, really cheap just because I'm poor, right? Like I could never buy a modern market house. Most people my age can't afford a house, and I'm a Gen Xer. I know that everyone goes on about Gen Z and the millennials and stuff like that. No, most Gen Xers are renting. We don't own houses. The boomers have a house and a cottage, and we're not going to bash on the boomers, but and it's not really their fault. It's the way the system was set up, and don't look a gift horse in the mouth is kind of what's happened with the boomers. They don't really realize how they got their wealth. A lot of them earned it, and a lot of people like my all my aunts and uncles, they grew up in a house like this with poor parents, and this was a farm. This was a farmhouse. All the property that you see out there now, collecting weeds and trees, used to be cattle pasture. Like this, it used to all be cattle pasture and stuff like that. That's why the barns are there. This was a farm, right? They fed themselves off of this farm. Let's go and have a look outside. But yeah, it's like 3 days ago I walked in here, and it was so musty. It was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this work or not. Open the doors. The real test is closing the doors for like a little while, right? And all the windows and shutting everything off. But time is of the essence. I know what the result's going to be. So if I leave this place closed up with the basement closed and everything like that on a rainy week, that week this place is going to be really, really extremely musty. That said, we get a week of dry. I leave these windows open. And I leave the attic open and let the air flow and, put the fans on. The dehumidifiers, I might start the dehumidifiers today. But I'm going to work on the fans today. Because like I say, down in the basement, I can notice, like it didn't dry it out completely. But the more you dry it out, like until it rains again, at least it takes the mustiness down to a tolerable level. But the big one with the basement is just to keep that door open until it smells like, a bed of roses down there. Which is going to be a lot of cleaning. Like, I'm probably not going to get to clean that up for another month or so because, I'm going to have enough around the property, clearing trees and stuff. My goal is to have cleared around the barn so I could put in a small fence and have some, at least chickens next year or something like that. I don't know if I'll get a pig or not because, like, a miniature pig, there's no such thing as a mini pig. A mini pig grows up to like 200 pounds, right? That's a mini pig. A full-size pig is like 500 to 800 pounds. So, and they live about 20 years. So I want something that I can afford to feed. So I like chickens and a pig, potbelly pig, and 3 goats. If they don't eat as much as say like 2 dogs, I can afford them, which is probably about what all those animals would combinedly eat, depending. Or you get like 1 small dog. I like to get a dog, but like there's enough dogs on the hill that it's like, except for berries and douchebag. But we got Kita up there, so like I can't keep her down here. The problem with Kita is she runs away too much. Because you see, the problem with dogs is when you get them, if they're a leash dog from day one, they're a running dog. If they're a non-leash dog, I mean, mind you can get solutions like what I'm going to suggest for my brothers to, go halves or whatever. If we're all staying up there, like I'm going to be living up there for a good while. There will be internet here, like the Bell thing is right beside the fridge there, but like that won't be for until I know what the hydro is going to cost me. And the hookup, like my brother and I were talking about it yesterday, because my brother was like, he says, well, he says it cost him like $2,000 or so, or $2,300 to have it hooked up here. And it's just basically they flick a switch and it's on, right? So what we're going to try to do, which probably won't work, but we'll try it anyway, is switch the bill into my name. Because it's already hooked up. I'll say, well, it's already hooked up. Can you just switch it into my name? They'll probably say no because you haven't had a hydro bill with us. I've never had a hydro bill with Quebec Hydro because when I was living in the city, it was included in the rent. So they'll probably say, well, because it's your first time with us, we're going to charge you. It's just, are they going to charge me $300 extra, or are they going to charge me $2,000 extra, or God knows what, right? Remember, the government wants to make life as unaffordable for you as possible, right? So, yeah, they're really good at it. They're really good at it. But the bottom line is, I'm going to go with the idea of that I'm going to be out $2,000, which cuts into my vehicle fund. But hang on, remember I mentioned that I had a house fund already started. So every day that I was getting paid, I was taking $20, putting $20 aside for rent and expenses, $20 aside for possible credit card payment coming up. Right now, I'm still debt free, right? I'm still debt free, so I can't use the credit card now till next year. But I'm completely debt free. I take another $20, put it towards finding a vehicle or buying a vehicle, and $20 for the house, and $20 for a bicycle. However, what I've got saved up, plus the stuff I already have in the bank for a vehicle, like the rainy day stuff, my tax returns and stuff like I don't spend stupid, guys. I know it might seem like I do, but I don't. Yes, I do buy some extravagant things like my guitars, my drum kit, and all that. But all that stuff is kind of winding down. There's always going to be like ridiculous equipment, and the amount of musical equipment that's going to be coming in here. Like my brother and I were talking about, I figured out why the door doesn't open. He's got a screw in it somewhere. Oh, right there. I see it. He goes, yeah, it's just one screw in it to hold the door, because the door kept blowing open. Like the door's worn out, right? I want to replace that door with a window door. Uh-oh. I'm turning into my grandmother, because I was just about to say, so I can see who's coming. Yeah, where are they going? Maybe I have to call my aunt. Say, hey, such and such just went up the road. That's what my grandmother and my great aunt would do all day. Just call each other. Oh, such and such just went up the road. Yeah, wonder where they're going. Kind of suspicious. I miss my grandmother. She was an interesting old lady for sure. Well, the worst things that happen. Oh well, what can you do? She wasn't wrong. So I want to get some of this cleaned up today, and my brother's starting to empty quite a bit of boxes up there. So I'm like, okay, give me all your boxes. Give me all your boxes. But I asked him if I could have all this stuff. He said, yeah. So I'll have some plates and stuff here. I got like 11 glasses, and I'm gonna probably take about 8 mugs. Which, for the amount of people that have visited here, is probably 10 glasses too many. I really don't plan on having a lot of visitors and stuff. Maybe the odd, family or whatever. But, usually when people move into a place, oh, we're going to have a bigger party. So, no, you're not. Not here. It's not going to be this place. No. This is going to be a pretty dry house. I mean, like I say, might have a drink once in a while. Like, once in a while, maybe once or twice a year. However, when that goes over there, I will not be able to properly sit in that chair unless I buy myself a pipe. And not that I smoke it all the time, but maybe once a year I might light up a pipe like my grandfather, and that's the grandpappy's pipe smoking area. Just sitting there puffing away on his pipe. Remember, I used to get the pipe cleaners. There'd be a kitchen table here, and I'd be sitting there cleaning all the pipes for him. Yeah. You'd have chewing tobacco. You'd let me try some chewing tobacco. All that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, the good old days. Teach you how to smoke a pipe and clean a pipe and chewing tobacco. Grandpas, they're the best. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So I do have a lot of stuff to do today. Mainly starting to get that grass cut around the house. I don't think I'm going to actually cut the grass because I got to go get gas and stuff like that. I'm going to focus on other things today. More cleanup. The grass can wait another week. I don't think it'll go anywhere. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So, but yeah, leaving the place open for the past 2 days, or this will be day 2, is going to air this out probably enough that you could probably lock the windows and doors and everything and keep everything closed for probably about 3 or 4 days before it gets unbearable, right? So you do this for months on end, especially more starting next year. But I mean, I probably have till about October that I can keep the windows open during the day, even a little bit, and maybe even early part of November with the heat on, I could probably keep a little bit like maybe not the full thing open, but just to keep the air flowing, right? Just till things dry out a bit. It is musty in here, but you have to understand there's the mustiness is mostly from the basement, but there's a second smell in here that gets confused with mold, and that's called the dog smell. And a lot of that, like, I'm just gonna have to go nuts with the freaking pine saw and do that. But once I get this musty couch out of here, I don't know if I'll put another couch in here. I don't think there's gonna be room because if I ever do get a grand piano, it's going right there. So I might have a piano there. I'm gonna have to reinforce the the joists in the basement, get some jack screws there, put them in, and but mind you, like I know this place can hold at least that much weight because right there, okay, the main joist runs this way, right, and or does it run this way? It might run this way. Let's go have a look. I kind of forget. But anyway, there was a cast iron wood stove here, and those things are about 500 to 800 pounds. So, but yeah, just the mustiness. Most of the mustiness that my brother was probably complaining about was from down here. I know he knew that. The problem is he did everything to seal it off rather than try to get it out of here. So yeah, okay, so I can put a piano right there. There's the load bearing right there, but I might add an extra jack screw anyway. Yeah, like the columns look pretty good in here, but yeah, if you have a piano sitting there and a piano sitting there, there's about almost a ton right there. Like a piano is about 600 to 800 pounds for an upright, and a little more for the. I'd like to get a grand piano, but if I have to get a baby grand, I'll get a baby grand, whatever. I'm not picky. I'm not picky. But anyway, yeah, I'll just keep that air flowing out night and day down. I don't want to spend much time down there, but at least it's not as dangerous, right? So like you have to air a place out, and like I say, in the winter time, the heat's going to be on, so your airflow is not going to be good. But that's what fans are for, dehumidifiers are for. So when I have to keep the windows closed, I'm going to probably run the dehumidifiers. Now, mind you, me in here, like I'm not going to produce as much moisture as everybody else. So like I was showing you yesterday with this jug here, right? 3 people, 2 dogs, all the washing, the laundry. The fact that that vent, I think my brother was venting it out there, so that it all gets sucked. Like the laundry vent. Like this thing is, for some reason, it's vented into the basement. I think at one point it was extended all the way out, but I think what my brother was doing was putting it out the window here. So a lot of that, it gets sucked back in, right? That's all steam and humidity right there. Keep the windows closed long periods of time. It's not going to take long before the place gets musty. You know what I mean? So, plants, the aquarium, boiling pots of water. Like I say, that's lifestyle stuff, right? So the simplest counter to all that is what happens with the moisture is it sticks to the walls, and then when you have a place that's not well heated, like I'll show you on my nephew's, because this is where it's the worst. Is what happens is on the wall outside, okay. And I know it looks much worse on the camera than it actually is, but it's bad. It's just not as bad as you think it is. But that there, vinegar will take care of most of that. You can paint over it, but if you paint over it without, neutralizing it, the mold just comes through, right? No matter what paint you use. So, you see, get all spider webs off the walls and stuff like that today. But that there is, it gets cold, and then you get like almost like frost on the wall. And then it dries, and then when it dries, it never really dries properly, and that's when it warms up. Well, you got moisture, right? And then just breathing, it's just stuck to the walls, right? That's why a lot of times on a humid day, you touch the walls and it's all sticky. That's your breathing and all that. It's condensation, right? So you're condensating all the time. If you got condensation all the time and no airflow, you're gonna get mold, right? So this place, I know I say mold, but it's really not that bad. Some people are just like, they hear that word and they just go nuclear. Well, you talk to contractors and stuff like that. Okay, well, maybe you get a section of the house that you got to cut out, but you don't write off the whole house. Now, if every wall is just completely black, and the inside of the walls are soaking wet, well, yeah, you're gonna have to bulldoze the house. But this house isn't even anywhere near that. Like this house is, I could probably live out my days in this house, and it's not gonna change much from day one. You know, like I mean, some things are gonna go, you know, pipes and water, stuff like that. You know, like you go through things, but that's also why I do my house fund. So, like people don't manage their expenses, especially when you're on the lower end of the income spectrum, like I am, right? So I don't spend stupid. If I smoked cigarettes, I wouldn't be able to afford this place. If I drank every weekend, I wouldn't. Or, you know, some people would drink all the time. Like I'm not one of those guys. Oh, I have to have a beer in the house. Like I usually don't drink in the house. I might get a bottle of something that you know for occasions, but I don't drink. You know, like I really just don't drink. Um, it's a waste of money, big time. And I've got things more priority. Like, would I rather have a bottle of booze or new skins on my drum kit, right? Would I rather have a bottle of booze or weed or new strings on my guitar or another guitar, right? Like that's my weed, that's my guitar, that's my booze. You know what I mean? And I'm not preaching to people. I'm just saying that's you know the people that are broke to smoke cigarettes. You know, almost everybody I know that smokes cigarettes is broke. Not everybody, but most people that smoke cigarettes because of the cost of freaking cigarettes, right? But anyway, I guess I got a vlog one done for today. We're the 31st. Yeah, tomorrow I think is the 1st. Tomorrow's either the 31st or the 1st. I can't remember. I'll have to look at the date. But we're going into September. I got a lot of work done for September. My big one is just like the hurry up and wait part of getting all this stuff. So I'm going to see if I can get some boxes. It's like, okay, well, you know, I just got to box everything up and then they can go through it. But, you know, I'd like to get it done this week. I'd like to get all that stuff out of the way, right? So I can clean up a bit more and stuff like that. But I have enough to clean on this side of the house that, you know, I can let this slide for a bit. But after about a week, I'm going to, okay, give me some boxes. I'm bringing shit up. You got to go through it. You know, like I'm making it as easy for them as possible. So I pulled everything out. So just come and anything that you don't want, just leave it here and I'll deal with it because it's faster for me to do that than them to, oh, I'm not sure yet, whatever. It's like, yeah, take what you know what you want and then everything else, leave it to me. I'll have it dealt with that day. You know what I mean? Right now I'm in kind of like a Rome built in a day kind of like yesterday. I didn't get a lot done yesterday. Well, I did, but I didn't get a lot of like physical stuff done yesterday. Yesterday was all about explaining the house and stuff like that. A lot of videos yesterday. Today's gonna be a lot less videos. Today's more gonna be about getting a truckload of stuff out of the basement so I can freaking move in the basement. I can't move right now. I don't want to bring everything down because I want to clean and then, you know, do it as I go. But I'd like to have everything that I want to bring down here within a week, 2 weeks tops, right? So, but I want to clean stuff before I do that. And, you know, and I have to divide my time between, okay, well, I'm going to clean a room today, then I'm going to go out and I'm going to whippersnipper for an hour or two. Then I'll do something else, you know, then move for an hour, right? So if I do 3 or 4 hours of work on my days off in here leisurely, it's not going to take long to get everything to where I want it. Because there is a lot of cleanup. Eventually, yes, I'll paint the place, but not this year. Right now, it's just the biggest unknown is the hydro, like the hookup. Man, I have an idea of what the hydro bills are going to be, so I'm going with my brother's numbers. I know my hydro bill is going to be nowhere near as high as his. But you know, this is a very inefficient house, right? Like this has that old wiring with the paper on it. You guys remember that stuff? Yeah, it's that old, right? It's like prototype wiring. But what I'm getting at is that you know, managing my time in here is going to be top priority is getting it ready for the winter, right? So a wood stove, yes, I would like a wood stove, but if it's going to cost me $2,000 to get the hydro hooked up, it might not. It might cost more. God help me if it costs more. Maybe they say it's $3,000, right? It'll be whatever it'll be, right? So that's going to hit me really fucking hard, you know. Now if they say, okay, yeah, but you can pay it over the year, okay, fine, do it that way. So I'll have a high hydro bill for the first year. fair enough. But if it's $2,000 or less, I just gotta say, put it all in the first bill plus whatever. Do it. It'll be a real kick to the nuts, but it's done and over with, right? And I do have the money to do that. Problem is that means my car fund's probably going to come down a little bit. But I still have lots left over for the car. It really, like, they're not going to charge me $10,000. Well, you never know, Murphy's. Well, that old house, our assessment says we have to charge you $10,000 to hook the hydro up. It's already on. There's nothing to hook up. Just switch the bill over to my name. That's it. But we'll see. We'll see what I get away with. So anyway, I'm gonna get cleaning, then I gotta do a provision run, and then bring down some stuff, and then get whippersnipping, because I gotta get all those briars gone. I'm gonna be able to use my new whippersnipper thing. You guys are gonna get to see that. Yeah. The HD56. Oh, I call them the grass brush minion. Oh yeah, with those big bull horns on there. Oh, that's gonna be great. All right, anyway, so I'm gonna get my ass in gear. There we go.